King of the forest, position locations, lion. Understanding the line center location and when it comes into the arc, the center communication of the arc line center, we come into Noah's Ark, all level system locations of Joan, high center line rotation interference. Travel communication is all levels how you align its communication, why animals are put on this earth perception. Today in travel, you're going to learn what it's like to actually be in the jungles of its kingdom. Position of directions is very powerful where I'm just going to drop you in simulation. Now, in position location is all levels, setting signals and high interference. X marks the spot. Communication on mapping sequence, program setting. You're going to work as a team, as together. You have to find a way to get out of position location to calculations. There's going to be animals on standby. You have to learn how to use your telepathies, frequency patterns, communication interference, position location, and directions. You have to start thinking line connections into all levels of knowledge. The intelligent communication system understands the line centers of interference. It puts position location in all levels. Center communication puts you in the heart line center in rotation. High line channel is to understand how to use your telepathy waves to yourself and to each other. But now it's for you to understand location. This is a test of will and position location and what you can do through your force of its creation to its location to understand how to use all levels. There's going to be animals on each dimensional point system. Position of direction. That's going to open up channel locations. You have to learn how to communicate with the animal lines. All levels in the center line rotations, pirates, connection line center interference. There's going to be direction locations. There's going to be map sequence patterns, map locations, high generational line centers, and high interference locations. There's also going to be line communications, right? So really understanding this is a team effort. You will be together, and you have to find a way to get out of position locations. You'll see King Archangel line center interference in position locations to all levels of a lion in communication, right? So it's all about understanding where you can adapt the system and merge into line interference. I could be a lion with wings, right? In calculation system. I could just be a lion. It all depends on where you are from the mind center. So in that position locations, when you're caught in sequence to its kingdom, okay, which is all levels of everything being wild, you have to truly understand how to get out of these things through its equation, right? Especially if you're not aware of its telepathy, because it's all about balancing frequencies of you inside. You have to learn how to balance the frequency locations when you're calculating to animals from your provision, all right? So I've set up a map sequence location. You're automatically going to travel through it. You're looking at locations. You memorize line center. You go right in location. All right, setting line connections. All right, that's you coming out line center interference, code same locations, sectors, vectors, quadrants, interdimensional line center, and turning one in position locations. Set line connections. There's the boat, right? I'm going to press point line center. You guys are going to go right in position locations. You're going to go into the simulation. Here we go. All right, you guys are traveling. X marks the spot, that position location. This is the line center. That's where I'll be staying, right there. Once you go to the locations, there's the dimensional door. You'll be home, back in formation location to your perception line. Okay? Have fun. These are point dot line center of rotation interference in position location directions. These are the dimensional door settings. Okay, each one is set in sequence to get position location to all levels of its X. Center communication line string puts position location high centers. All right, have fun. All right. So I'm just going through introduction patterns, line center rotation, solar graph line interference. Okay, Eric, how's it going? Jill, Gypsy, Lindsay, Pam, Terry, Don, Michael, Airbender, Heather, Sam, Joe, Nikki, Sharon, Johnny, Val, give me a Cindy. Oh, we get some new lines of communication here. That's great. Terry. Oh, Chris. Great. That's like Giggles. All right. Yolanda. Good smile. Ashley. Gypsy. Check, check, check. Pre-flights are important. You know that. Make sure you have your water. CC. Space MacGyver. Michelle. Danny. This location done. Wolves. Hey, Wolves. All right. See, it's better that we do these locations unity. So I set the same location, you travel right away because you're already travel location anyway, that location. So, and then I go through the solo text through the attendance. Make sure you drink your waters. That's the body good. Adam, Nova. All right, so where are we? Okay, seeing snow, leopards, whales, dolphins, and communication with the eagles. Good. Remember, work as a team. Networking to animal stuffing and crystal grids. Very good, Joe. Rhythm patterns. Found your foundation, find your grounds. Earth communication line centers. Handle. All right. Yep. The boat seeing us all getting on board. Very good, Chris. Know exactly what you're getting into, Pam. All right. Location, position, and direction. Parameters, yeah. Elephant scanning everything as I go. Remember, elephants read souls. So in that location, you see Noah's Ark and you see Joan. To know the true residence is true position, location, and calculations. Why are the animals here? There's a reason why we put everything in position, location, and direction. You have to understand it's all levels of telepathy, and that's what you guys are coming into. Sure, you understand where you are. Is all level location. All right, so you guys are traveling. Center lines, not line center interference. We're going to do a whole different pattern location, direction locations. So I really want to get in the line centers. Now you guys are in the wild canyon location in the jungles of Sahara. That's great. That's fantastic. But we're going to work line center interference. It's amazing how we go into school every day and we do something every day. It's incredible when you become locations in that system. All right, so we go through triangle force line and high center location, equal line location of 0. Okay. Center line connections is the all level connection interference, is the location of direction. Electrical light communication, center positional point system, travel through line communication of 0 point location. All right, so when you're drawing, make sure you're traveling, not drawing. You're not drawing travel. You're not traveling, drawing. You're going through mind of travel. So you start off traveling first, right? You got to say, am I traveling or am I going through the mind? I think I'm traveling, but I'm not sure because my ego always gets in the way. So if your ego is getting in the way, you're already confused location. Ego equals operation, right? So change the operation location of its energy line center over positive over negative, not negative over positive position of directions. Now the ego line center comes into its ecosystem, position location of its vector line communication system, right? Times line. Now the time interference location is its times pi. Once you come in that calculation, everything starts connecting more and more in division. It high centers its light center interference and puts position locations. Vector equals light velocity into volume, right? We got that in our location. So I really want to stay in this point because you guys are going to higher levels of division location, right? You're coming into dimension, interdimension, galactic, intergalactic, and AI tech. So that puts a position location direction right away. You got a circle operation line center, position location, center operation position, right? So this volume's its center line center. This puts a velocity location to its position of direction. It's intelligence. Center communication interference. Volumes, velocity, okay, in that connection interference. Now that position location all levels, high line center interference, position location of vast. We got in that location line connections. So volumes and atmosphere line center, systematic location of telepathy interference. Vast. Communication line string. Center communication line system puts in at all levels of flux capacitor. Position, location, and direction. Right? So this is why things get a lot more complicated, because the inner line center location of it is intelligent interference is putting position, location, and directions. Okay? So as you're going through center line communication system, you're going through times pi in all calculation. Times pi, right? So from here is times pi. Okay? So you're going around the wheel, position locations, right? So once you go faster, everything starts making sense. You're going in the same direction location. The same direction. So the vast goes faster, location of velocity. Now the velocity changes the line center locations. So the V line center comes into its atom line communication. Atom line center equals line connection levels of molecular light in position location. Right? So the faster you spin through cycles, the faster you understand your dimensional location to the portal communication. Right? Center line connections. And this is where it comes in with Gypsy. With Gypsy, it controls all of the portal communication line system of string location into 12 line centers of dimensional location and position, location, and direction. Center lines of all levels of velocity location. So when you're in that position, you truly have to understand how to use all lines. There's all swivel line interference. There's all squirrel locations. You get one position, location, directions, one line centers, back and forth communication system. So one goes one way, one goes the other way. That's just a swirl. Or you can call it a squirrel. It's like a snowball, right? Has a wind trajectory location and direction location, overlaps the line, center line, inner rotation, the center communication. Now the center communication is offline. Now this is where you come in a galaxy shift. The galaxy shift position locations and highlines its channel. That lines its communication to levels. It opens up a dimensional door line center in rotation to its calculations. One dimensional door to another dimensional door to another dimensional door. Three-dimensional doors you go through location, right? Center lines is communication to its trap line center interference. Position location is calculations. So the reason why I'm setting this up is because this is how it's set up in the simulation. This is how you set things up in the Wild Kingdom. This is how you set things up through dimension. This is how you set things up through all levels, right? You have to learn how to use this in the simulation location. It's all through your simulation. Simulation equals line connection to hologram. Center line communication. So you get three line center location of doors, dimensional door line settings, dimensional lock-in interference. Your provision location is online. Now galaxy shifts its wind factor, changes position, location, and direction. High channels its operation line center location its calculation. All right. So there's many ways of looking at things and how to set things up in a simulation, right? A simuli. Okay. So once you understand that line interference, then you understand the direct locations of weather. We have to understand the locations because you have the growth line location. That goes in the growth line center. You get a tower line communication system, and you got your antenna communication. Right? Now, central line communication, another tower communication, another tower communication. There's three tower communication line strings, right? Central line interference, electrical light connections into the ground location, right? So what that does is it does it to direct location into three waving systems to a V-line center. See that? Velocity location, flux capacitor. Everything is calculated to a capacitor location. So these are all communication line centers in one position, three position locations. 1, 2, 3. Into triangulation. Position or direction. Center its line connections, all levels. Telepathy signals. Point system location. Position, location, and directions. One side line center locations of three towers of communication. All right? So Guardian will pick this up in line center to understand how to use communication of towers, foundation locations, calculation of its grounds, setting line connection interference. Ground line center rotation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 positional wave centers. Ground line centers right here location. Direction, location, position. Right? So waving line centers, line rotations, starting locations 24, 48, 72, and 144. Okay. Center line connections. Now the 24 line center could be in an alpha channel. 40 can be in a window into a high line center communication crossing stream, crossing over. So the window opens up communication to another window line center. This is where you come into the location directions into one position location to the other line center interference. Times frequency times pi. Triangulation. So that opens up a dome line center, comes in allocate line center. To understand its computer adaptation system, it has to understand its dome line center rotation. Comes into all position location calculations. Center its communication system in position and direction. That's how it becomes a dome. But the dome line center is all set up. So we set line position location directions, all levels. Okay. Center line sets graph line rotation, clocking location on line system, position and direction. Okay. So it's mostly understanding you are connected to the levels of intelligent interference. Now, where are we in line center? Animals have provided best trackers and security or travels, letting them lead the way. Very good, Joe. Now you know why we have the animals locations. Everybody is in post. Everybody is in direction. Everybody needs to be where they need to be. There's a reason why you have a cat. There's a reason why you have a dog. There's a reason why you have a bird, and so on and so on and so on. It's here to uplift you. It's here to calm you. It's here to help you how to connect better with the mind of telepathy, of telekinesis. Okay. Once you get in that position, location, and directions, things start connecting more and more in space line. Okay. Through yourself and through each other. So watching our awareness is next level. Yep. We're so kind. They don't want to hurt us. No. So true. Patience. Yeah. Feels nice. Very good. Ah, cute. No. So where are you guys here? Pelicans. Yeah. Trees and the monkeys gathering coconuts for hydration. Very good. Memorized by this place. The light shining through the volcano. Whoa. What a beautiful. He's walking with me and telling me he's going to help protect me and team. Oh, there you go. Activate fairy wings to flow safety, create. And the thing is, because you can't use each other, you have to learn how to use position when it comes into the animals. The animals are there to help you, but you got to do it through telepathy. And this is going to get you in a better connections with yourself and each other. It's not just communicating with each other. The team formation is all about coming together as one unity. Okay, it's not about the conscious line. It's about the telepathy of communication. And that's where it comes into telekinesis. So, speaking of Joan of Arc in the clouds, receiving backpack, going through a portal in the sky, coming down in the parachute, my Adam, a neat connection. Oh, that's great. Good to see that communication in the city of realms. Heather. Solid ground. Head team, stay on the lines. Yeah. Oh, you're getting to know exactly what it is to actually be where you are and how real it can be, right? So the interconnected line center interference location is all levels of the mind. The mind works in so many adaptation systems. It position location all levels. You start with the conscious location, the subtronic line interference. Then you come into the connections of the superconscious location. The superconscious location is line interference. That puts in a three-wave system location, right? 1, 2, 3. You're in a three-line communication. No longer the conscious, no longer the sub, all right? You're in a three-line center. Now that three-line center is what? Location directions into all levels of Orion's belt in the magnetic highway formation system calculation. It's reaching the highest point of view in vibration. And like I said, what is vibration if you don't understand what it is in center line? The center communication all levels is what? Is 5 position. Right? Not 6, not 7, not 4, not 3. It's 5. 5 is the center operation of everything of yin and yang. Center and line centers is to understand adaptation and interference. It position locations calculations. Center communication is always 5 here, and you got 5 here, and you got 5 here at the bottom line connection to the grounds. right? Directory locations, timestamp, times pi. Circle line center location into graph location into all levels. Open up communication to higher levels of security line communication system, time lines, all right? Travel location into all system location, right? So there's so many ways to use your line connections of numbers. And you want to start small, especially when you come into levels of abundance through manifestation. And that's another thing I want to get to understand that you need to understand. Understanding the abundance of you is understanding the creation of you inside. And that's the how. We got into the why. We understand what the why is, right? Why vector communication, right? So vector comes over line center location of positive over negative comes into flux capacitor. Okay? So you can't do anything with the why. You have to understand location. So why in position location on line center interference, position location on flux capacitor equals line center locations, all levels of the how. Okay, flux capacitor equals how. How is the operation? I really want to basically get you in a better provision location, how to use your tactic view communication centers. Once you understand more levels of the mind line center, everything opens up. Okay, snap of the fingers. And I guess you're wondering why, because I keep saying this over and over. Why do I snap my fingers? It's like, right? Everything here is like an echo call. It's so powerful. It's like, it's a vibration. Everything, right? Picking up that vibration line center in your rotation. Calculation to a system. So,
How long?
1 sec. Running through your mind centers is to understand communication interference. And what I mean by that is the mind keeps running. It's a running program. Now, your adaptation line center interference. Your life is not a program. Okay? Your mind is set as a program. Huge difference there. When you reach a higher level of altered states of the mind, everything starts kicking in a lot faster, and you realize, I'm starting to understand the hardware and software of its position, of its app, which is its location. Right? So it's really understand the connections, how the brain works and how the mind works together as one. Okay? So that's a process that you have to understand. You are a projector that is projecting everything around you. And you being in the kingdom of the wilds and seeing the animals puts everything in perspective. Okay? Being aware of everything that you see. Okay? So everything is a test of will, which is a test of knowledge, which is a test of space and time. Okay? It's how you perceive you in the mind. Okay? You all have to start somewhere, right? Especially when you come into the mind that constantly just keeps it's a rolling spin. It's just a constant flow. It doesn't understand to go back. If it goes back, it causes a virus. So you're causing that. And then you integrate its position to come into an old program. That centralizes its position and shuts down your vessel of communication. Okay? So it's important to understand when you guys are traveling. Okay? And what traveling means to you. Okay? Yeah, working one with the animals. That's exactly it. Very good. But I truly understand the deed of act of random kindness. What does that mean to you? Doing things for others is gratitude. That is form of abundance. Better life with your situation. That is abundance. Better communications with your kids. That's abundance. Anything in that calculation is abundance. But it's got to be the internalized center when it comes into the mind of its frame. The frame has to understand you through provision, has to understand you, not through the imagination, through its phenomenon. Okay? Because imagination is basically, imagine equal location to the mind. Mind connects opposite locational levels. Mind equals location of all levels of phenomenon. Okay? So the mind comes under conceptual location. You box its position. All right? So the center line communication, you circle interference. Indirect locations, here it is. Film projector inside. Now the film projector location comes into an 8 swirl. It's an 8 infinity interference. It's a rotation. It's a film strip that's inside your brain communication. Okay? So your projection is this, and what you see. Ooh-ah. Right? So understanding the hardware, understanding the software, and understanding your projection, which is your eye perception lines of sonar communications to your avatar. Okay? Which is your app. So you come into the app interference. Okay, Highland Center Interference app, APP. Okay, that comes into its awareness. Okay, in perceiving location of perception. You're starting to perceive position, and you understand the program, right? Which is its app. The app from locations equals location of levels of its avatar. Center line connection, right? Avatar. So that opens up more sequence pattern, but I just want you to show you how powerful it is and how you are in calculation to a system and how to use your projector of its projecting of what your projecting is. See how that works? So basically, you are a theater of operation. You are telling the story, not anybody else. You are the story of you. You are the communications of you. Okay? So you're co-creating your realities of you through a position locations of nothing but a position connections of a film strip. That's all it is. That's all it is. You're living frame by frame by frame. Frame, 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 frame. That's all you're doing. 24 line center, 48 window position, 72 computer location. Now this is all levels of all line center, and 144. Once you come into the 144, you come into position locations of mind lines. Mind line center and inference locations, but it all forms its communication into one position location of calculations of direction. Okay. So, when you see these things, look at that. 69 views. 10 position, 1 line center, 0 gravity location. Right? So you already know what 6 and 9 is. It's the yin and yang, which means it's the balance. Is that coincidence? No. See, it's understanding the frame lines when it comes into numbers and shapes, guys. Your position is truly understand the clocking. We've gone through that location, but you have to understand the alter states of transition. Okay, and how that works for you. We're going to get more into how to use your projector. Okay. So the central line communication is all this. That's all it is. But position location is this in location. Okay. Film projector. Center and communications of view, film line connection. Okay. So line center and inference, position, all levels, hardware. Okay. Connections of software, hardware, software. Now that line center location comes into perception through your eye connections. Eyes. Okay. Filter communication, sonar line centers, all direction location calculation. See that? That's how it works. So really understand the communication, all levels of you. Then you come into your film strips, you come into your data streams, you come into your transitions, you come into your transplates, transmission line interference, you come into program setting, you come computer adaptation, interference, location calculation, eye receptor, positional directions. There's so many levels. You have to understand how it works in operation of you inside. Because your reality is your reality. If it's not your reality, it's somebody else's. But why is it somebody else's? Because you're getting answers from somewhere else and not you inside. The communication line center. If you put your thoughts and location just through you, you're fine. But in provision, we've said this before in back location, clock line center interference, indirect line center. If you put position location to somebody else's thoughts, it's in your reality. And you're going to see it through your structure outside location. So you're not just creating your reality, you're creating somebody else's. That's a faulty mechanism of location and projection right there. You're seeing 2 projections. That is a no-no. And that's what I keep saying over and over and over. Focus on yourself, nobody else. It's important you understand that and stay in your own lanes. Okay? These are the things you have to look at. You get a better understanding, a better provision, a better communication, inside line connection. And you don't have to worry about outside line because it doesn't exist. The existence is the now of you in position of all levels of creation. Right? When you want to know who you are inside, okay, that's the biggest thing. And all level system location is a relationship with you. Okay, not outside of you, inside of you. Because the basic understanding, and this is physics 101, you are born inside. You're born inside, out. We already know that, right? So in that position, you should know exactly what it is when you come to that level. The integration location is all levels in position. It's probable location. Okay. So, and I keep saying that again and again. The square line center is you inside position, not outside location. So you're looking out. You're looking out and using sonar line conditions, trying to understand location of you. Now, once you understand that, you come out position. See, you're coming out. Then you start flying around. See, getting used to your atmosphere line, getting used to your avatar line, getting used to your grounds, your powers, and your atmospheres, getting used to space inside, getting used to what you're co-creating in your Earth line communication system. And this is your Earth in rotation. It's all inside of you. Okay? So that's the things that you have to understand. That's what you're protecting. Every single day. But that every single day is not every single day. But because you're so programmed, you don't know otherwise. Because you always find a way to beat the purpose location. If you stay in the inline center locations, your Earth is inside you, not outside line conditions. It travels anywhere you want. You go, it goes. It travels. So you're here, you travel there. Sun's over here, moon's over here. All right, there's a directed location, timeline center interference, position locations, all levels, triangulation, times pi. So it's kind of like going from one location to the next locations, but it's going from one location, next location, next location, next location, not just going from this location to the last location. That's not times pi. Times pi is what's in the space. So when you go from 24, 48, 72, that's what you're connecting to. Because if an XD1000 line interference comes to me and say, okay, well, where's the direction location of zero line connection? Well, what do you mean? I already picked it up in this location of calculations. Yeah, but you forgot the line communications of the 24 signal. Oh, okay, right. So I have to go back, obviously, right? Because that's a misconception, right? So the XD1000 is telling me what I did, right? So this helps you out in ways and forms. Going forward is knowing how to reference back, okay? But you're moving forward. You're moving forward. You're not moving back. You're going forward, not back. Forward, referencing back. You don't want to reference the back and bring it forward. Okay? Because your Earth is all connected inside of you. It goes where you go. Planets go where you go because it's all connected inside. So in that line in rotation calculations, and you guys have a test coming up Friday. So this locations. Let's start off with the cell lines. These are all cells inside you. Okay, going extremely fast in position location of particle communication. Center line connections. Those are all particle locations. Those are cells. Right? Now, connecting line center location. Vector over voice. Okay, vector over voice line. Clarity location into 6. Right? Fixing the throat pattern. Security line division location. Security even location into ground line center. Okay? So all these cells are different intelligent locations to your chakras. They're not all the same, guys. That's why you're having problems balancing your system location of thoughts and the location of intelligence. So if a high center line of rotation comes into all levels of channel, you truly have to understand how to use your position location and calculations. So once you understand how to use the cell lines, the particles come in location, and line center location is cell lines in position and direction. Okay? So we really have to get into that. And then you got dimensional door lines. Okay, this protects locations of the particles of the cell line communication. Now, once it protects its high interference, it really understands the position location when it comes to volume, velocity over channel, channel over communication, inline connections of the security line connections. So you have to make sure that everything is in sequence pattern of its cells. It's going extremely fast in position. So once you get in that line center locations, protons, electrons, and neutrons, all lines at position location comes into its center communication and covers the line communication centers. You come into the red cells and you come into the white cell communication. Right? So if you understand that line connections, you have to learn how to use your 12 DNA track. Now that's a motional sensor, motional interference, position of motional connection to your system and everything inside connections. Okay? Centers its line center interference. Abby, how you doing? Center line communication line interference. Puts position location on levels. How to use the red cells. Now we've done that line center interference location, which is all levels. Okay, when it comes into the carriers. Okay, so we'll get more into that. And the white cells are the receivers. Okay, use the line center location. Understand your DNA track is to understand all levels of VAS. Okay, the volumes of its atom, of its systematical system. VAS, not vast. This is not teleportation communication. This is DNA interference. Position, location, directions. How to communicate to all levels of cell lines in its rotation. Okay? So that's just a basic understanding because it's all connected to emotional line center, right? So this is all about how to communicate to the position. You start with 1, you start with 2, you start with 3, you start with 4, you start with 5, you start with 6. Let's start with 6, right? 6 is the location over 7. 7 is the body, location, position, and directions, right? 7. The number 7. All through numbers. All right. So this is where you have to be an inner child, right? What do you think a kid is going to do with the number 7? He's going to turn it into what? A shape, a picture, a drawing. And that's where we have to go, is beyond the mind. See, look beyond the mind. To boldly go where no man or woman has gone before. And that's what it is. Okay? So you got the 7 line center line interference. Now 1 line center location equals location to grounds. 2 line connection is security. 3 line center location is all levels of communication system. High line center locations comes into what? If 1 and 2 line center location, 1 is the grounds, 2 is security line interference. 3 location is all levels of the cyber communication system. 4 is line center, the solar plex location. 5 is the center communication of everything, of all balanced communication on the left and the right hemisphere line system into the heart. 6 line center location is your throat line connection. Ooh, ah. Basic understanding. Now, each cell in your body has a representation. It's a 4 main lines line. Now that line has a dimensional line of rotation interference. It positions location directions, center connections, has dimensional door lines. It's really interesting to look at these things. It protects its system location, all levels of volume. Okay? Starts off with applications. So these are the cell line communication. They're in dimensional settings, right? They circle on so many communications, all levels of channels. This will become the mainstream interference of shapes, letters, numbers, and symbols. Center communication system of all levels of protection. Now, to understand that, so line center locations, this is where you come into your immune system. You have your red cells and you have your white cells. Okay, red and white. Now, position location. White is all line center. Red is location of carrier. White cells are the receivers. Red cells are the carriers. So when red cells come in line center interference, it position of its pin, position location line connections. It pin drops its line center. Now, pin drop is location is red line center location comes into the throat. Throat line center of cell communication position. Infiltrates location of its dimensional door setting. See? Door setting. Throat problem over 6. 6 equals location of virus. All through a red cell like connection. right? So you got to infiltrate that line in rotation, change position, location, coloration, line center, change line interference, location, and calculations. Center communication. So the virus disappears in position location. You circle its line conditions. You center its graph line center and rotation. Center its position location here in center communication. So there's a lot of things you don't understand how to set lines of communication, how to work with your cells of operation. You got to start somewhere, right? I know I'm saying this and I'm saying that, but I want you to understand you have cells in your body and you have to communicate to every single one of them to understand you. That's it. So there's a lot of things you have to integrate. The position of direction is putting you all in channel, but understanding all levels of the red cells and the white cells puts you in a better provision. Okay. So, and how do you do that? Telepathy. Okay. Everything is telepathy. Okay. It's telekinesis and moving. If you do a particle change is like a open curtain. Now, the center line communication comes in the immune system. Immune system sets line conditions. When you come into the white cells come in position location to opaque. Okay, center line condition. Overriding line center locations, overdrive communication to its red cell communication. See? So it protects the immune of its dietary line. The red cells are the carriers, which is the formation line, boxing position location. So once you understand that line, we'll get more into that calculations starting tomorrow. Okay. So coming line centers, plasma channels, protein communication line interference location, dietary line streams into immune system. So there's going to be a lot of things you have to understand through adaptation. All right. 47 lines, 40 communications to get you up to 50, and I'll take you guys in line center. All communication, ground centers, implications, all levels. Got you guys back. You guys have fun? So it's a lot of fun when you're traveling and you're facing all levels of view inside line connection. But I'm just showing you how powerful it is when you connect all levels of your cell lines. You have to build a relationship first with you before you understand anything of operation inside of you. Right? So, yeah. Teamwork. Yeah, you guys did a wonderful job. So, if you understand that the inside of you is just a story frame, then you understand you're just having a conversation with yourselves. And that's all it is. Because if you have a relationship with yourself, you have a relationship with yourselves. If you have a relationship with yourselves, you have a relationship with your heart. If you have a relationship with your heart, you have a relationship with your brain or your spine or anything location inside of you. But you have to focus on yourself. That's the only way. I know it goes way beyond everything, but I'm just telling you exactly how things are set through operation. Because everything is connected inside of you through space, time. Okay? Yeah, it makes a lot more sense now, right? Because you're coming to all levels. The avatar is the action, all levels of travel location, and the physical line is all levels of reaction to its heart system. Reactor. Your physical is reacting to everything location. Okay? It has to. That's what keeps you alive. Isn't that interesting? Let me say that again. That's what keeps you alive. Okay? Because you feel it. Your emotional system feels the connection, the sensory position of perception. Okay? It opens up new dimensional doors of vibration inside of you. The correlation, guys. Okay? It's important you understand these things. All right? So tomorrow, mañana, we'll get in that formation locations into the cells. Okay, particle stream. Alrighty. X over factor line center, vast line and rotation calculations, cell generation interference, generation line center line rotation calculations, merge and communication system. So once you understand the integration locations, you understand the infusion. Transisting, transmutation location, all of the mutation. High channel line center interference, specification directions. There's so many levels of communication. Have a conversation with yourself. Start there. Got to start somewhere. Okay. All right. So I'll get you guys to recuperate. We got 9 minutes in position to go on Zoom. All right. So in that calculations. Also, too, we have a quiz coming up, and Friday is your test. All right. Adios.